Uh-oh. Oh, I got like hungry all of a sudden. I'm like, oh my God. What's up? How are you? Hungry. Rita's. Wait, what? What's Rita's? Rita, the place I know is Rita's Italian Ice. Jersey. Do you have an accent like that? This is like not. This is the romper that gets me in trouble. Because it like. You don't talk like that. The cop, like. Wait, that's like more Boston. Coffee. Let's go to the car. Who's down for a cup of Joe? I don't know. I'm from Chicago, suburbs, Chicago. Much different. It's like, let's go for a ride in the car. Are you packed up? Are you packed? It's like real, like, are you packed? Oh, we'll be back before that's New York. Then I go to New York. Back. That's not back. That's Chicago. I'm not going to answer the inappropriate questions because I cannot get myself in trouble. I would totally participate. Walk dog. It's my buddy. Hi. I like tweeze my leg hairs. I waxed as much as I could. As much as I could. Didn't come with a lot of wax strips in the kit. So see me sneak that? I was like, Vegas for the Raiders game. Well, it's still kind of stubbly. Even when you wax, you don't get, like, some of the hairs break off, but some, like, I would say, like, half of them might come out by the root. Does that make sense? So then you might not grow the hair back you might not get any stubble on those hairs for, like, 4 weeks. So you might have a little bit thinned out. I don't know. I want to see how it goes. Because it doesn't really hurt. I got really used to it. Some people can't do it because it hurts. But when you get used to it, the problem is though you get these ingrown hairs and Jimbo, Jay, good to see you. Then I want to pick them, you know, which is not good. I just personally don't like the hair. I mean, I don't have hair like a lot on my body except for like my leg hair, like my shins. I don't know why. I think my nationality is mostly like Scandinavian, like I'm Swedish and Norwegian. So there's certain places, right, where people have more hair, like in Russia or whatever. They're the ones that have like a back sometimes hair and stuff. It's like, it's interesting though. It's just all relative to, you know, the ancestry of why they needed that years and years and years ago. And I know that like technically if we were to go back to like what was natural, some people try to, right, and they grow out their armpit hair. I just don't like it personally. I just don't think it's appealing to me. Now I don't know if I'm just conditioned because that's just what we do. Is when, you know, as a rule, you know, we're taught to shave our leg hair, but and armpit hair, but I guess that conditioning, it's just not a good look to have a bunch of hair. Like, it just isn't to me personally. So that's just my personal. If I could get the hair permanently removed, I really need to put like something on here. This isn't working for me. This is just a romper, then nothing else. I would get it. I would love nothing more than to just have like that laser hair removal. I look like a dork. This is not, I'm gonna have to change. This doesn't look good. I'm gonna have to change this look. Okay, give me a second. I don't like this. This is not, well, it's comfortable, but it's all, you know, flapping in the wind kind of thing. It's not working for me. Where did I put my stuff? I found all these bras and now I'm like, where are they all? Lost them all. Okay. Anyway, I want to do like laser hair removal, but I found out that you have to have only the dark pigmented hair will actually work. So a lot of my blonde hair and my legs wouldn't really work for laser hair removal. Can you believe that? Apparently the light needs the dark pigment. So you have to have like a black hair or like real brunette hair to actually get it to work, the laser treatment to work. But waxing's pretty cool. I'm just a weirdo though, because I like looking at the hair on the strip and stuff, and like, I don't know. I know I'm not the only person. That's a little bit better now. Kind of. Putting my thing on. Kind of. Oh fuck, I hear kids. Oh god. The neighbor kids. Every time I think I have 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, the neighbors are at their, this isn't working. Then all of a sudden it's like Lord of the Flies down the street. You start hearing them charge. Because, you know, kid might have kids and they have friends in the neighborhood, which is kind of cool because thanks for the follows. I never, my mom was insane, like more than me, like just psychotic, and couldn't have friends over ever growing up. Like I always imagined growing up where I had friends in the neighborhood and could run around, play, and have a normal life. So I think it's cool that, you know, after being here a few years in this neighborhood, now like the kids are all like kind of friends with each other in the neighborhood, and they all run around and they take turns at the parents' houses to give the parents a break. So that we'll have kids down here and then look, kids will run down there, you know, so it's kind of nice. And I don't know if people do that as much anymore because people are just so paranoid about so many things happening. And it's not like I'm not, but my kids are old enough and, you know, they understand, you know, they would tell me if something weird happened and I would like immediately handle it. Okay. And it's like, that's just because I'm like, really, that's one good thing about me being, I always beat myself up on my parenting and I'm like, you know, but I feel like probably my openness and honesty is probably like, I'm noticing my children being kind of the same way. And it's kind of a good thing because they will also like tell me and open up and want to tell me stuff and say this, you know, and then you would be able to determine, you know what I'm talking about. You got to be careful that nothing, you know, sinister is going on. But I don't like living the way a lot of people do in today's society, where they just they're so scared of everything that they completely shelter their children and just leave them holed up in the house, you know. Same parents that, oh, I shouldn't even say it on here, but I can't. It's just crazy to me. It's like, that's why childhood obesity, right, is so big, because it's like a lot of people the kids aren't going out and playing and running around riding bikes in the neighborhood. They're just not doing that anymore. I'm okay. I'm trying to make the best of my Sunday. I was trying to find my hairbrush. So, I mean, everybody's got to parent how they want to parent, obviously. But I'm grateful that I live in a, you know, relatively decent neighborhood with a lot of kids. And I know my neighbors now and getting to know them. And it's a pretty cool neighborhood that I moved into, you know. That was so funny. My video last night, my friend took it. I was messing around in the ATM, in the bank thing. But I wasn't doing that, like, to get recorded or anything. Like, it was just, I was being funny because I was messing with my friend who was watching. And he recorded it. I am in this state of despair at the moment. I'm in Texas. No, it's not the state of despair. I am in Texas right now. I am from Illinois. I grew up in Illinois, like 28 years, suburbs of Chicago. Not Chicago, Chicago. I was so close that I could, like, technically walk to Chicago at one point, but it's like if you say you're from Dallas or any major city, if you're like 20 or 40 minutes away from it, you're just going to say that you're from that. Yeah, I've not heard of Harrisburg personally. But doesn't mean it maybe could be more southern Illinois, right? Or by Springfield. I mean, there's so many parts of, I'm from the northwest suburbs. Pretty much, like, anybody, if I tell them I'm from Chicago, they're like, where? And then I explain. Yeah, like, I've been in Outgrove Village. My psychiatrist used to be there. Like, there's all those little towns that people would just say, like, oh yeah, I'm from Chicago. Oh, cobblestone roads. That, you know what's cool is I was in Fort Worth yesterday. They have the original brick roads that are like 100 years old, like along a lot of the streets, the historic area, and it's just kind of, I guess they must have refurbished it or something, but it's original brick roads, so that's really cool to me. I don't know, I think about that because you're like, wow, can you imagine what was here 100 years ago? Because it was probably horses, obviously, too. Like, people didn't have cars. I know that Model T probably came out in closer to the 30s. I know it was in the 20s, I want to say, but I don't even think it was mainstream. Oh my God, you're Chicago's Elgin. That's where I was from too. Like, do you know where West Dundee is? That's where, like, I lived a long time. I lived in Elgin for a little while. Yeah, there's all these little towns that, like, St. Charles, Schaumburg. I lived at Schaumburg. But I moved to Texas on my own when I was like 28, or I think I was just about to turn 28. Adler Planetarium. I don't know that place. That for some reason I didn't look at it's probably a museum of planets. When I was younger, I wasn't as interested. I've been to Museum of Science and Industry. I was a member at the Chicago Museum, the Art Institute of Chicago. That's a badass art museum. Yeah. But 10 years ago, I moved Sandwich. I heard of that. That's a funny name. I moved, like, I wasn't planning on moving permanently, but it just kind of happened, and I got settled, and then I got knocked up by the cable guy, and, you know, I do some weird thing with my eyebrow. Look at that. I'm not going to keep it like that. I'm just being weird. I did. Yeah, the cable guy, like, did the cable like 10 years ago. And basically was like, I was kind of a bitch, and because I was just cranky. I was tired. I didn't make coffee. He couldn't even install it because of my ghetto ass old TV. I had a roommate. But I was like, I just was apologizing for being a jerk to him. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just didn't have my coffee yet. I'm just, and I said all that. And he tried to install what he could, this old tube TV. And then he came back with like Starbucks, which I'd never had anybody, that was for me and my roommate, and it was, to me, it was such a kind gesture to be like, wow, you just brought me a, $6 latte at the time. It was a caramel mocha from Starbucks, like a venti, and then he gave one to my roommate. I mean, it was like, it was just a stranger. So I gave him a 5-star review on the cable company whatever, because I was like, he went above and beyond. I know, that's all it took. My whole life was ruined because of a caramel mocha. Well, not ruined, but it didn't end up being, it was, you can't ever say it wasn't a blessing when you have the kids, though. It wasn't meant to be. It's just that it wasn't the perfect scenario. Later on, I found out, that I was with a sociopath and had other kids and, was lying to me and still married, all that kind of stuff, that happens later on after you're pregnant and you're like, oh, wow. Wow, yeah, this is going to be fun. So, yeah, long story short, then I got, we're fighting, gonna break up, and I have too many. No, I have two. I was like out the door, getting a job, trying to leave him, right? It's just, you realize you're not compatible kind of thing, right? And then it's like, I ended up having, how you have this fight and then things happen when you're fighting with somebody. And then that fight led to baby number 2. My fights are just rough, so we get knocked up, it's, that was a funny joke. So yeah, then you're like, oh, pregnant again, when I was just got my job at my company and I'm trying to save money and I'm trying to leave, a not so good relationship, so my kid doesn't have to, grow up with 2 parents that are like at each other's throats, and oh, I'm pregnant. Good job, Heather, good job. So yeah, we hung out a little longer, And it just didn't work, fizzled out. I mean, I was 37 weeks pregnant. He like didn't come home, that sort of thing. You know, you have your best friend, call this number. You know, I had the phone records. I don't know what he was thinking, because I'm like, I can check the phone records. I'm like, literally the last person he talked to from when his phone just stopped like answering is probably who he was with. And if it's a female, then we know, you know, something was up, right? And so that's exactly what happened. And so, yeah, that's kind of my shortened story there. But yeah, because so I ended up moving with I had some roommates, some women that I've befriended, like at church or whatever. You know, we ended up renting a house together, and so I can install your cable. I know, right? He installed a little bit more than the cable. And basically, that's how I ended up in Texas. And then all of a sudden rendered like, oh, wow. Uh-oh, here's the kids pounding on my front door. It's like, I just want some time to like chill out, put some makeup on. Oh no, my window. They're at the window now. Yes, dear? What? What happened? What happened? Well, you need to take turns. They're just jumping. You gotta wait to do the blanket thing. Then just let them jump for a little bit. You have friends that are jumping on a trampoline. Nolan, you can do the blankets later. You can lay the blankets down. Right now your friends are trying to jump. Do you need to come in? Do you need to come in? He's like crying because he wants to put blankets and pillows on the trampoline, and the other kids are jumping on it. Can you believe the nerve of those kids to want to jump on the trampoline and mess up the bed that he's like somehow trying to make on it? Give me a second. I'll let him in if he needs to come in. Because I bought the trampoline. What are you doing? What are you looking for? The remote? What, you want to put TV on? No, we're not watching in here. No, we're not. Okay, if you're not, that fit's not going to work either, so I'll charge this up for you, but if you're going to have a fit, then I won't. Are you done having that fit? Nobody wants to put a blanket on a trampoline right now. They're jumping on it. And this is the kind of stuff that you just, it's, you know, that's all it is. Dealing with, like, breaking up fights, you know, because, I don't know. And you want them to just play with your friends, have fun, jump on the trampoline that I bought, you know, it's like, that's why I bought it. They're finally jumping, and then it causes a fight because somebody else wants to do something that it's not even intended for. Anyway, that's basically why I'm in Texas now, in this little neighborhood with 2 kids and working, paying bills. And then I got like just really bored with everything, started going on TikTok and having fun, sort of just No, I have a daughter and a son, but there's neighborhood boys that are here, and my daughter's friend is here right now. And I have to break up a fight because he's pounding on the... Okay, this isn't going to work. You're going to have to go to... I told you, no.
Yeah.
You have friends over jumping on a trampoline. You're not going to put a blanket down. No, it's not boring to jump on a trampoline.
Yes.
It would be boring to lay down.
It's boring.
I gotta hang up.